Reporter Manqoba Mchunu is following those developments and joins me live now from Westbury. A very good afternoon to you, Manqoba. So the SAPS insists that, gangsterism in Westbury has gone down and that they are winning the fight against it. Is the same sentiments being shared by the community?
I see a couple of customers going in here. Check it, Mesa, with you.
Well, certainly, Murena, many of the community members say, gangsterism in this particular area had been under control since 2018. You recall, Murena, that in 2018, that's when the tactical response team was deployed to the area by the police minister. You recall that this followed a protest that took place here in this community, where community members really took to the streets over the issue of drugs as well as gangs in this area. This was following the murder of 45-year-old woman Heather Peterson, who was caught in a crossfire between rivalry gangs that were fighting on the streets at the time, and also a 10-year-old girl was also shot in that particular incident. So in the lead up, of course, to the police minister arriving here, members of the community saying that they wanted more police visibility in the area to ensure that these gangs and these incidents are kept at bay. And they say that since that happened, when those tactical response team members were in this community, the violence subsided. But ever since they were withdrawn from this community, they have now started seeing these incidents starting to happen. And we do understand that it's now been 2 months since they have been shooting in this particular area. But I want to speak now to some of the community members here and community leaders just to get a sense of what they make of this situation. Joining me firstly is Siraj Sali, who is one of the businessmen here in this particular precinct where this shooting happens. Siraj, let's start with you. How are you feeling as business owners, as community members, given the fact that this happened here where you are?
Over and above, as a businessman, as a community member, I speak as a father, growing up in this area and giving back to the community. What's happening is not normal. Our children are taking this to be normal. Every day you go out, a shooting takes place. Is that what we're going to inculcate to our children, that this is the norm? No, it's not the norm. Yes, the police has been deployed, and whenever they deployed, it seems like there's a cease. But now we got to ask, people makes up communities, and community makes up towns, and towns makes up cities. What are we going to do as people? I, first and foremostly, avail myself. Let's form some forums. Let's form something to show our children.
Okay, let me just give you a chance perhaps to wear your mask so that we can speak to you, Siraj. Yeah. So you can continue, Siraj.
Let's see what is it that we can do for the community. We need to stand together. My shop is right here. Our community pass through here and they go to work early hours in the morning. How many mornings isn't our people being robbed here? We witness this. How many mornings our moms and dads that goes and fend for their children being robbed here? How many mornings don't I come here and find vehicles being stripped here? Our children, whatever is left for scrap, they educate themselves there in having to strip these vehicles. Come on, people. Let's not wait for this to happen to you. Let's act now before it comes knocking at your door.
But how are you feeling as a community?
Definitely.
Are you feeling safe?
Definitely not feeling safe. I've got children growing up here. My children, when I come to my business, my place of business, I lock my children up at the back. Don't want them to play here. This particular center was the hub of this community. We had our local post office. Our local post office closed down. What are we telling to international investment if our locals don't even want to invest? Our locals, we've got a guy striving here, fending for his family, doing business here. He's not safe. I'm there. I'm not safe. You sitting in your house, do you think you're safe? Do you wait for this to come and knock at your door and then you're going to respond? Let's act now. Let's not wait. Let's act now as a community. Yes, the police is out there doing their job. All we ask of them, perhaps let's monitor their reaction time. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Siraj. Let me move on to Jefferson Johnson, who is one of the community leaders here and an activist himself in his own right, given the fact that you yourself, Jefferson, had lost a family member due to this violence that is going here in Westbury. What is your reaction to all of this as community leaders?
Well, thanks, Manoa. We've been walking this road since the year 2016, and things haven't changed tremendously. So there hasn't been any change. Once again, we're at that point where we feel, as a community, that our government has failed us yet once again. Firstly, we had brought in the Barretts, and they stabilized the area. Yes, there are police in the area, but I feel as though it's not enough. I feel as though because these gang members, they know exactly what time the police knocks off at night. They know exactly the operation of the police. They know where the hotspots are. So for one, here we have a building behind us. This place is not being used. Why do you allow people to sleep over here? Just look at the grass at the back. What is our councillors, what are they doing about it? I feel as though we're at that point where people need to answer to us as a community, because people are dying and you're not doing anything about it. Secondly, these are people that don't even have money to bury these boys. These are families that don't have no money. But it gives somebody else the right to come and take your son's life away just like that. It does not matter the intensity of whatever occurred to bring them to this point of dying. I feel as though, who gave you the right to kill somebody else? Where is our justice system? People are they get arrested. But the minute these cases go to court, I don't know what happens.
And how are community members, Jefferson, if I could touch you there, how are community members, what's the general feel among community members following the shooting?
I think they, once again, like I said, they lost that trust in the trust in the police once again, and yet they are doing their job. I must say, they have lost, and including myself, I have lost all hope in justice, because firstly, sometimes you get to find that wrong people are arrested, and then sometimes these people that do really are the perpetrators, they get free, scot-free, and you don't know how this happens. But then also, it's the way that these people operate. I feel as though sometimes, though I work with the local police station, and I feel they're doing a tremendous, great job, but I feel as though that they're not doing 100% what we need.
Okay. And then in terms of, what is it that you call on to government in terms of intervention? What sort of intervention are you hoping for?
You know, what I'm really hoping for is, one, Nuclear, Westbury, Claremont, these areas as a community, not just communities, but as one community, there's an over total amount of firearms that's lying around. There's an over total of drugs that is being sold in our areas. The one thing that we want as a community is the fact that we want the army to come in, one, to do a search, a door-to-door search to every single household, to make sure that this is eradicated with immediate effect, because this is going to be a major problem. I'm tired of all the promises that are being made to us, and yet our people are still dying. We need some kind of intervention. And yet, even with regards to schooling and the jobs, unemployment is a major fact in our area, and it's completely pushing our people in the wrong direction. And I'm not fending to say that drugs is the right thing to do, but if there's a job for our people, then there shouldn't be any drugs being sold.
Okay. Thank you for your time. Well, those are some of the sentiments from some of the community members here in Westbury, following, of course, the shooting of those 3 teenagers. 2 of them died here on Thursday, and one of them, we do understand, is still fighting for his life in hospital. But also 2 shop owners here are also being caught in the crossfire.
Thank you very much, Mangoba. That is our reporter, Mangoba Mkunu, out at Westbury in Johannesburg.